Hello, I'm Gads, and welcome to today's video. Today's going to be our first look at the new boosted summoning rates in the Altar of Souls, on top of also looking at the change that they made to the background rates for summoning soulstones in general. They did buff the rates relative to like 6-star legendaries and whatnot, stuff like that. So we'll take a look at both of those changes, as well as what the boosted summons will mean in terms of your odds if you're going to be pulling or opening some soulstones. There is, of course, all of the hullabaloo going around here in the Bastion celebrating the raid's 5th anniversary of the game existing, so that's pretty fun. Lots of cool stuff going on there. Definitely a huge fan of the juggling man-eater and the guardian ring, but yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. The fusion is going live tomorrow for Armand's the Magnificent, and we'll talk about that tomorrow once he's added and loaded into the game, and we can take a look at the calendar and take a look at some of the events and stuff like that. But we do know already that it is going to be a hybrid style fusion, so be prepared for that if you are going for him. If you guys are curious, a little bit of a spoiler here for tomorrow's video, but I'm more in the nerf him camp. I do think he's a little bit on the overpowered side, just based on what I've seen him do. But if they leave him as is, then so be it. So we'll see what they do in the short term or potentially the long term. And of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that we finally did hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel. So once again, thank you to all of you lovely people who have subscribed to the channel over the about year and a half of content creation here. It's been a blast. I enjoy doing it very much so, and I will continue to do so. So thank you all again for getting us over the milestone of 1,000. It doesn't really change anything content-wise, but it is substantial in terms of monetization for the channel. So now let's get to today's topic by starting off with the Soul Chase tournament itself. I purposely waited until Wednesday here, at least at the time of this recording, because that is the day Hydra resets, so I make sure that I maximize the amount of mortal soul stones that I have at my disposal. So in this case, I'm assuming, or I'm hoping, that because it is a 2x on 6-star rarity souls for mortals and immortal soul stones. Again, we'll take a look at that in the portal later on. But I'm hoping that only for this style of event is why they've increased the milestones. And so we're used to seeing the Void Shard at like 575, first legendary tome at like 865, the second one's like 1270 or so. These are off the top of my head, give or take. So the milestones are substantially higher in terms of where the good stuff is located, but in fairness, they're also lower in terms of the lower tier stuff. So the energy, I mean, you have to get 50 points, which is kind of guaranteed to a degree, given the rates. Again, we'll go over this. And then 150 for 150 gems, pretty good deal. So even if you have a handful, you can still walk away with what's 150 gems is like 3-4 energy refills, and then 3 effectively 2.5 or so energy refills just from there. So pretty good rewards here at the bottom. But yeah, the higher stuff has most certainly moved up, but I guess it's counteracted by the fact that you have a higher chance to get 6-star souls. However, I will admit that mathematically speaking, the increase in the milestones, namely the legendary tome Void Shard here, do not correlate to the increase in odds of getting a 6-star soul that would skew the points in that direction. So in other words, you're more likely to get a 6-star soul, but you're not more likely to reach the milestones because they've moved so much further ahead that it may or may not actually make a difference in terms of getting it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens today. The goal is pretty lofty, but we'll see if we can get some good luck. I've seen some good luck on some other content creators sessions, and so we'll see if we can get to the 1450. Legendary tome is always my goal when it comes to these events, but worst case, we just pull all of our mortals, see where we're at, and then kind of evaluate if we want to dip into the immortals and eternals. So as usual, let's hop into the spreadsheet, and I have made some changes for this particular session. I am reflecting now all of the updated base rates for the different rarities and ranks that they updated with the 8.2, and I guess not the most recent patch anymore. 8.3 is live, but to 8.2 they changed some of the rates, so it increases on the higher end, and they stole it from the lower end, which is good. And so overall, we saw or I guess we can scroll over here. There is an increase in what is possible here. So I preserved the old values in an image here, and you can kind of see the new values. And the main takeaway here is that the amount of average points for both the small sample truncated, which just means that we're chopping off some of the really, really unlikely outcomes, like getting a 6-star mythical soul from a mortal soulstone is highly unlikely. And so we're kind of removing that from the odds just to get a more representative example or rate of points relative to what you're going to get when you pull 30, 40, 50, 60, Soulstones. But when you're pulling like 200, 500 or something, you know, closer to infinity, then you're going to more converge towards the raw odds, which has the possibility to get some of those super high rarity things. So the odds are very, very skewed, or points are very, very skewed towards the higher end. And so that's why we're kind of separating the two. But, you know, the spreadsheet will be linked in the description box down below if you want to check it out for yourself. But essentially, the real number that you will get will be somewhere between this table and this table. And then the more that you pull, the more that you have, the more you're going to converge towards the bottom table. But the less you pull, the more you're going to converge towards the top table. So that's how you can think about it. But again, the main point here between the left hand and the right hand side here is that we get a tiny increase in the average points across the board. So we went from 3.9 to 4.1 for Immortal, 12 to 12.1, and then 189 to 208. I guess Eternals did get a pretty big bump in terms of their odds because it went from like 75-25 to 80-20. When it comes to the raw odds, you can definitely see the change more likely because again, they increased a lot of the things relative to the higher end of the spectrum. And so you know, Mortals went from about 8.0 on average to about 9.0. Immortals went from about 55 to 67, and then Eternals went from about 320 to about 350. So again, if you pull a large amount of the Soul Stones converging towards the raw odds, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck than before, just with the increase in base rates. The other cool thing I added here was that we have this little toggle switch for the 2x on the 6-star rarity, which is only applies again to the Immortals and the Immortals. So if I flip this over to yes, it switches the values here, and we can see that what the current rates are right now. So 12% from an Immortal to get a 6-star, and that was taken 6% from the Immortals, and then 1.5 from Immortal, which 0.75% was taken from the rank from the 1-star. So flip back again, you can kind of see that. Flip it over, you can kind of see that. So kind of cool. That's the toggle. Since this spreadsheet is going to be like read only, that may or may not work. This toggle may or may not work. I'm not sure how that's going to work for you guys, but if you make a copy of the spreadsheet, you should be able to toggle this and be able to flip between them if you would like to do that. So as we did highlight earlier, the values have changed and the rewards have changed relative to this particular Soul Chase tournament. So I've reflected those in these tables now. You can see that they're updated. But again, we're focusing on the small sample truncated because I think that's what reflects majority of what we're going to see as players. So the Void Shard, we're looking at Mortals. I guess we start off with Mortals. Looking at Void Shards here, it's going to take about 167 on average to get there, 255 to get to the barrel, 350 to get to the Legendary Tome, and then 480 to get to the Mythical Chaos Ore. So pretty bleak in terms of what it might actually take. But again, if we look at the raw odds by comparison, if you get lucky, you hit the higher end of the, I guess the lower end of probability, then it could only take about 63, 96, 136, 181. You know, you can kind of see the values. Immortals are a big difference between cutting off the low end and looking at the high end. But it could take up to 60, 90, 120, 170. I guess these are somewhat less relevant because if you start to get to like 60 Immortals, then you're probably going to start converging rapidly towards this one. So it might not be as accurate to do this for the Immortals and the Eternals just because the odds of getting something good are substantially higher. You're cutting off the 1-2 star for Immortals, the 1 through 4 stars for the Eternals. But for the sake of consistency, let's just leave the tables as is. And then if you're looking at the raw odds, it's somewhere around here, 8, 12, 17 and 22. So you could definitely get a lot of points very, very quickly, particularly with this event on, with the 2x on. So we'll see what that's going to yield for my own session here. All right, so popping into the summoning portal here, we have 98 on the Mortals, 8 on the Immortals, and then 2 on the Eternals. We were lucky enough to get, or fortunate enough, strategic enough, whatever you want to call it, to get the 1 Eternal Soulstone from the Titan event. So that was part of how we got here. And then the Mortals came from the mix of Iron Twins and Hydra and spending all the soul coins. And then Immortals are just kind of here and there depending on the events and tournaments. Usually I think champion training events are typically ones that have them featured in, but they could be in other like heroes paths and stuff like that. So I think last time we ended more on the high side. I think I had like 78 or 79, so really close to 80 but not quite. And this event is also about 4.5 weeks since the last one, so a little bit more Iron Twins than 4 weeks, for example. So that's why we're a little bit on the higher side, closer to 100 than about 80 or 90, which is where we'd expect to be. One thing I do want to note here is that I did make some changes to my wish list because we do have some new champions on the account. So White King Narcissus is of course the main thing to call out here. I don't have a soul for him at all yet, so I intend to just buy his souls as far as I can get, to buy them with like coins and essence and whatnot. As far as I can get, but if we can jumpstart that with a 1 to 2, 3 star or whatever today, that'd be great. Save a little bit of essence along the way. So that's why he's been added here. Ramontu and Herndig are just ones that I'd like to have higher awakening levels for, but I don't really want to pay the essence to get there. And the epics, I did make one swap here. I threw in Whisper. I have officially joined the Church of Whisper. Maybe I'll make a video about that, my new Dark Fae team based on Saf's Dark Fae team featuring Whisper. So let me know if you guys want to see that video, an update on my Dark Fae team. And then the rares, I added Hellborn Sprite because I did feature her in my Amius clear for this rotation, and that video is going to come out later this week as far as how far I got in rotation 3 of the Cursed City, so stay tuned for that one as well. But if I can get some awakening for her, it'll make it a lot easier for subsequent rotations because she has none, and so you just take less damage if you have more awakening levels. All right, let's get to the summons here. We are going to be pulling 90 immortals to start, and I do like to keep them in sets of 10 so that I don't have a partial completion of the soul coins here. So we're only going to be doing 90 even though we do have 98. So let's get this started. I believe that in the patch notes they said that they fixed the tournament points or whatever popping up, so it should come at the end so we don't get these spoilers anymore. So we're gonna have to watch this engage. Are we gonna get it? Yep, looks like it is working for sure. So 63, so slightly above average. Remember, the average for the small sample is around 4 per mortal soulstone, so 63 is a little bit on the higher side. No 6 stars here notably, and yeah, not much. Kyoku I already have at 2 stars, so I'm probably going to sell that. And Clydna, I do not have Balthus. I have, but I don't intend to use. I think I only have space for like 30 at a time, so we're just going to do 30, and then I'm going to sell some, and then we'll get right back into it. So mortal opening number 2. Let's see. You got a Thenacel. Don't use. Supposed to be good for the Sand Devil, but he turned out to not be that good. Gear Grinder 1 star. Good. Doom Tower Secret Room champion 37. About on average wish list. We got Herndig, who unfortunately I already have at 2 stars, so that's not really going to help us. That's definitely going to be sold. Judge, I already have it, I think at like 3 stars, so 1 star is not going to do much for him. But I do have Judge, or I have him built for Doom Tower Secret Rooms as well. Let's see, this is going to be the first or the last of the first 30 here. And not looking like much. Stagnite 2 star. That might be an upgrade to him for cruelty. So we will take that 34 points. So again, we're basically on average for the small sample truncation. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we expect it to be. I'll make some space and we'll get back into the rest of the 60. All right, we are ready for round 2. Here we go. Now, I know some people have mentioned that you probably want to hold on to extra souls because you need to sell. So you need to get a good amount of soul coins for the Marius missions or whatever. But I'm not in a rush to get Marius, and I know that we do these at least once a month or so, and so I'm not really trying to like hoard everything so I can get him as quickly as possible because I know there's a ton of roadblocks along the way that I won't be able to do. So I don't really care about that. But if you want to get him as quickly as possible and you're in the end game, then for sure do take that advice and try to hold on to as many souls as you can because you're going to need to sell them eventually for soul coins for the missions. Taurus here, Poison Explosion setup champ. Do not use, but I do have him 2 star for Rask. That might be an upgrade. And Daywalker 5 star, definitely not going to use that one. I think that was like 63, so again a little bit above average. I get 40 being the average. Then yeah, we're not seeing much here. 2 star Saito, 2 star for Hellborn Sprite. That is good. Wishlist. Oh, the wishlist also got boosted from 2x to 8x, I believe. So you should see things from your wishlist a lot more often, and I can definitely confirm that we're definitely seeing that. So 2 star for Rian. I think that's an upgrade. 3 star for Eurogram. I think that's exactly where I have him, so that's unfortunate. And I think I was in the middle of saying 2 star for Hellborn Sprite, which is new, which is good. And so she'll take substantially less damage next time we have to do Amius on rotation 3. And the last of the second set here, Cornelia, I already have her at like 4 star, I think. Lord Chamfort, I have 1 star for him. 6 star epic. This is going to be 100 and something, 150 maybe. 300. Woo. Okay, that was way off. 340 points. There we go. So the 2 times for 6-star definitely coming in clutch there. So that helps. But I think overall, if I do my mental math, we're probably somewhere around 500 or so, maybe 600. So we might get the Void Shard as of right now. We still have 30 to go, and then we can evaluate from there. But yeah, I don't think it's going to get much better than this. But you never know. We got 1 6-star epic. Maybe we can get a 6-star legendary. We'll see. Okay, last set of 30 for the Immortals. Here we go. Let's see if we can start to bolster our luck here with some good RNG. Bunch of rares. You love to see it. Yeah, I guess talking about once again about the Marius missions, I haven't even done 24 rip. That's nothing noteworthy there. But I haven't even actually done the Phantom Shogun's Grove. Like I literally haven't even done stage 1. So I'm actually gonna have to start grinding up through that to really start to progress in those missions. I think the first one's like get some oil from Sand Devil, and then the second one's get some extract from Shogun's Grove. So I actually have to build a team. I think, well, I have a team built, but I haven't actually run it ever. So in theory, it should work, but we'll test it out. 2-star mythical there for only. Don't have any mythical champions, so that's not too exciting, but it is good for the points. I think that was like 70 points, so about twice the average. And then another 1-star Rianne. I did check on her. I do have her, unfortunately, already at 2 stars, so neither of those, the ones that we got today, are actually an upgrade for her. But Urgrim was an upgrade from 2-star to 3-star, so we'll definitely take that. Legendary 4-star? No, okay. Legendary again, 6-star? No, okay, 56. Yep. Yeah, no, okay. That's probably not gonna do a ton here. We're gonna wait for the tournament to update. I'll keep you guys around for this real quick as we blitz through. Well, let me just double check. Actually, you know what? I'll put 1-star on her. Why not? This is one of the Doom Tower epics that I built just because she kind of seemed cool. She's like a single target damage dealer. And so I don't really have much of a use for her, but like Curse City, potentially. And I think I threw her in my Faction Wars team because like, why not? But yeah, one of those weird champions that was just like, man, I need someone to max, and she kind of looks cool. And that's the extent of my logic there. See, Lordly Legionary, never used that guy. I think he's like supposed to be good in Fire Knight, but not much there. 78, I think that's pretty much where we should be. Oh, don't need a duplicate of that. Double check there. Yep, we're good. Okay, so let's go over to the tournament and see how far away we are from anything and everything. I guess it's worth noting once again that there's no boosted rates on the Eternal Soulstone, so even though we have a couple of those, there's not really much we can get from that in terms of the boosted odds here. So 740 means we would need 700 from a few Immortal Soulstones, and if we're looking at the small sample average, it's about 11 points per, which is definitely not gonna get us there. I don't know. I kind of want to just what's my normal rule, like 5 up to 5 Immortals? Maybe we'll pull like 2 and just kind of see where it's trending based on that and kind of go from there. Just see what it does. My expectations are very, very low for these Immortals because they really have not been delivering much over the months. Oh, okay. I sit corrected. Well, there we go. 6-star Soul for Rianne. All right. Okay, 2x is most certainly on. That is a huge upgrade. We're going to do that right away. Awesome. Okay, that's my first 6-star epic soul. Wishlist is definitely working. I honestly did not expect that to happen, so I don't know who to replace her with. Let me think about that for a bit. Okay, so I settled on Husk as my choice here. So refresh. Rianne is done. Wow, that was amazing. All right, so 300 points. I think we're at 739, so that puts us basically at the barrel, so 1,000 points. So, well, I mean, that was really good. That's probably, I mean, that's pretty damn good. That's as close as we're going to get to getting something really, really good. So I think we kind of carry on here. We'll see, play it by ear. I'll say up to 4 more maximum for the Immortals. But if we can get to 1450, that would be amazing. And hopefully we're not just like positively jaded by hitting the lottery on the last one there. A rare, bringing us back down to earth with 6 points. Yep, that's the reality there. That's the real value there. So let's keep it going. Let's try our luck here. Let's just see what can happen. Another epic, hopefully 5-star plus 4-star 30. That brings us to still somewhere in like 1,050. We're kind of drifting away from the goodness. Maybe we took the bait there. We were baited in by the really high ones. 4-star for Ostrox. I don't know why his name is so hard to say. Undead Horde. One of the first void epic for Undead Hordes. We'll do one more. Fine, let's just go for it. Let's pull the 5. We said we're gonna pull 5. See where this gets us. Nowhere. Excellent. 6-star at least, but it is a rare. So how close are we? We've got to be 70, 30, 1,100 or so, somewhere around there. We definitely get this guy. We definitely get the barrel. Do we want to pull an Eternal? We're about 200 points shy. Well, I mean, if we pull a 5-star epic, let's see, are we guaranteed? We're not. 5-star epic would be 135. But if we can do better than that, we can get a legendary tome. I think it's worth the risk. We'll pull 1 Eternal, and let's hope it doesn't have to be legendary mythical. It can be an epic, but ideally it'd be 6-star. Oh, it's 5-star, but it is a lure. That is an upgrade. You know? That's something. So now we have a decision to make because we're we're really close. I mean, I could pull one more and we're guaranteed to get the legendary tome, which honestly isn't the worst thing in the world because I mean, Eternals are hard to come by and they're not really affected by the boosted rates right now. And I think we just do it. I am in the market for legendary tomes right now, and I don't want to dip into the immortals because the return could be 3 points, you know. But this is guaranteed to at least be 135. So I think we'll just balls to the wall here. We'll go all in on the Eternals. Probably another 5-star epic. That is fine. Jarang. Doesn't really matter who it is, but fine. We got lucky there. The 6-star Rian most certainly helped us out from that immortal. So we will walk away happy with a... Oh no, I didn't do my math right. Was it 270? Are we short? 5 points! Oh man. Okay. 5 points. Ugh. You know what? We'll wait. Because I've not done my Iron Twins, and that's going to get me, you know, gosh, 5 points. I guess we have to do this with the mortals or with the mortals. I don't want it. Oh man, I guess. Oh, I'll fix it next time. And I'll get to 10. But we're gonna do that's 5 points. I don't want to leave that alone. Oh come on, don't give me ones. Anything better than ones. Got a 2-star rare, maybe, instead of 1-star? No, we're just going to get 1-star rares across the board. 3 points away from a legendary tome. Okay, there we go. That should do it. 2-star rare. All right. So we pulled like 3. So, I will. My OCD will just have to rest in the meantime, but I'll pull 7 next time to start or something and to fix that. Or maybe I'll do it off video. I don't know. TBD. But... luckily, like I was saying, the 6-star Epic Soul was definitely unexpected there from the Immortal Soulstone, so that helped us, and that basically guaranteed that we can get the first Legendary Tome for the first time in like 3 of these Soul Chases events, even though it's the higher milestone. And yeah, I can definitely endorse that the 2x is most certainly working. This is the most amount of 6-stars I've ever seen. Like, I've gotten like a handful of like 6-star rares here and there, but it's very rare for me to have gotten a 6-star epic. I think I have like 2 or so across the account. Still don't have a 6-star legendary, 6-star mythical, or anything crazy like that. But definitely a lot more 6-stars than usual, rares included. So I can definitely confirm that. And then most certainly the wish list improvement, definitely working there. I can see the effects of the 8 versus the 2. I understand it's not substantial, but like when you open, you start to open a bunch of mortals, you can definitely start to see the effect of it, because we pulled a lot of the same rares, a lot of the same epics over the course of that. So overall, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. Nothing for King Narses, but that's fine. I intended to buy his souls again with the coins in the essence, so we're just going to start working our way up to ideally 6-star if we can get all the way out there. But that's going to take many, many months. All right, so that's going to do it for the inaugural 2x on 6-star perfect souls from the Mortal and Immortal Soulstones. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys were pulling your Soulstones for this event. Are you saving them for some future event? Because who knows what they can do. They can do 2x on legendary 6-star souls. They can do 2x on legendary, the rarity, or they can do 2x on mythical tier. So like they can expand the 2x concept in this, or like in terms of these odds, in various different ways. Could be 5-star and 6-star 2x or something. We'll see what they do in the future. So let me know if you pulled for this one, if you're saving them for some future event. If you're saving them for the Marius missions, let me know that as well in the comment section down below. And as always, if you did find this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button down below, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.